Marnie with his speech entitled The Heavenly Eagle and the Earthly Toad. With the Heavenly Eagle and the Earthly Toad, please welcome Paul.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Fellow guests, Madam Toastmaster, I'm here tonight to talk to you about yoga. Has anybody here tried yoga? Experienced it? So you'll know a little bit about what I'm talking about. Hopefully it might be a bit of a refresher for you. Firstly, I'd like to welcome you here tonight with the traditional yoga greeting. And if you'd like, you can welcome me back or greet me back. And the greeting, for the greeting I use the word namaste. And in case you're not familiar with that, it's spelled N for Norman, A-M for Mary, A-S-T-E, namaste. And I place my hands here, near the heart, so it brings positive emotions, and I say, namaste everybody. Thank you, thank you. So you've had a little touch of yoga yourselves, no one hasn't experienced it before. Now, yoga goes back more than 3,000 years to India. And for that reason, many of the terms used in yoga are from the ancient Sanskrit language. And some of the terms I'll use tonight are from Sanskrit. I'm using those terms. And what yoga, to me, provides physically is that it gives you strength, stamina, flexibility, balance, and also helps to clear and calm the mind. I discovered yoga around 6 months ago. I'd been a runner nearly all my life, and I was looking for something to help prevent injuries, and I'd heard that yoga was very good at giving you core strength and that type of thing. And my wife went, she said I should try it. So I go along and I do a class called Tone. It's relaxation, restore, slow tone, and then burn. So Tone is a pretty good workout. It's more than an hour and a half, and it's very, very physical. So I became hooked from the first lesson. I go a couple of times a week. I bought myself a beautiful yoga mat so I could practice at home. And I really enjoy it. So I want to share a bit of that with you tonight and show you a little bit of what yoga is all about. The process involves bandhas largely. Bandhas are blocking or contraction of certain muscles, often around the abdomen, to help release latent energy that's stored, as they say, at the root of the spine. It releases that around the body. And some of the key bandhas that we use, and we don't talk about this all the time, the lesson is very much get on with it and do it. So I've read up a little bit about it because I'm very interested in it. But one called Jalandhara bandha is at the back of the throat, and that helps with the breathing, brings warm. It's a bit of contraction of the throat and brings warm air. Uddiyana bandha is the upper abdomen, and Mula bandha is the lower abdomen. So it's helping, using those is always helping that core strength. And the breathing is very important. Our yoga instructor says breathing is the most important part of yoga. And I do a form of yoga called Asthana Vinyasa Yoga, which joins the postures with movement, and the movement is directed largely, it's to the rhythm of the breathing. So you're constantly moving from one posture which you might hold for a couple of minutes, then there's a movement into a new posture, and you move on that way. Now, the 13th century alchemist, Avicenna, who practiced yoga, he spoke about it being a transcendental thing, and I believe it is. It's very uplifting, but at the same time, you're very grounded to the earth. And he used a metaphor of the eagle and the toad, and he spoke about connecting a chain to the talon of an eagle in the air, connecting the other end to a toad on the earth. And what he said was, connect the earthly toad to the heavenly eagle, and thou shalt understand the secret of our art. Which I think sums it up really well, because it does give you this feeling of lightness when you're practicing, and it's amazing how fast the time goes. It's a timeless element to yoga. You can have a practice for an hour and a half and it's gone in no time at all. So I'd like to demonstrate some of the postures to you, and I am a newbie to this, so I'm by no means an expert, but I do enjoy it very much. And one of the first things, one of the main central moves is called sun salutation A, and many of the moves come from this. And what that involves is initially raising the arms, and they say swan dive forward, bend forward, get some length, then jump to plank, and then we go chaturanga with elbows in, and then a move called upward dog, and it's bending the back and it's a warming posture, and that's dog D-O-G. And then we move into downward dog, which is this. Now, I won't hold that for too long because I can't talk to you very well. But we might typically hold that posture for a minute or two. It's very good for the upper strength, the upper body. And while you're doing that, you're trying to contract those core muscles, which helps again give you some lightness and take some pressure off the arms, and it's stretching your back and the back of the legs. So from there, I'll just go back into that. We might move into a position called Warrior One. Now you might hold this for a couple of minutes too. Now holding your arms in the air for a couple of minutes helps improve stamina. And then we might move to Warrior Two. And we're looking forward. And drishti is the gaze. You focus on something ahead. Now from there you might move to Warrior Three. And this is helping the balance and the strength. And I should say, you leave your ego at home in a yoga class. They're not about, you're not competing with anybody. It's all about you and how you enjoy it. So that's from Warrior back to Warrior One. You might do one called reversing the warrior and then coming forward to a position such as this. And then you might bring the other foot around, the back foot around, and you try to swing around like so. Now this is using strength, flexibility, and balance. See, it's not that easy to maintain. Focus and swinging around, twisting the back as far as you can, and then doing this to twist further. So that's one example. I'd like to finish with an inversion. Inversions are important in yoga, and they help you see the world from a completely different angle. If somebody's not interested, tell them to watch TV upside down. I will have to turn my back on you here, because I will demonstrate, hopefully, a handstand. Okay. Can somebody pay the counsellor if I put a hole in the wall? Magnificent experience. If I'd encourage you to try it, I hope if you do that you enjoy it as much as I do. So I say to you all, good night and namaste.